Good morning, special guests. Good morning, parents, teachers. Good morning, boys. Would the Assembly please stand quietly for the processional? I invite Carmelo Keating to lead us in the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land about in nature's gifts, for beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. Please be seated. Firstly, I welcome our special and invited guests. Mr. Des Wybird, Deputy Chairman, IGS Board. Dr. Meg Hooper, Board Member, IGS Board. Mr. Shane Newman, MP, Federal Member for Blair. Ms. Jennifer Howard, MP, State Member for Ipswich. Mr. Greg Platts, Chairman of the Board, IGGS. Dr. Peter Britton, Principal, IGGS. Mr. Ian Rosenberg, President, PNF Association. Mr. Andrew Kenman, President, Old Boys Association. Mr. Philip Bell, President, Ipswich Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Greg Jensen, Old Boy and Special Advisor to Ipswich Grammar School. Dr. Andrew Winter, Major Sponsor and past Board Member. The Old Boys Working Party members, Mr. Paul Kasos, Mr. Rod Juice and Mr. Rob Wadley. Headmaster, CEO, Mr. Morrison, and also Dr. Nick Cook, PNF Association. Ladies and gentlemen and students of Ipswich Grammar School, welcome to the 2019 Prefect and Seniors Induction Ceremony. Today, the boys of Year 12 are entrusted with the role of guiding the younger members of the school community through another year at this great school. We know that they will lead with passion and conviction in their final year. To begin proceedings this morning, I would like to invite Headmaster CEO, Mr. Morrison, to the microphone. Thank you, Headmaster.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shelvetsis. Good morning, special guests. Good morning, parents, families, colleagues, and boys, of course, too. So, history repeats itself, doesn't it? Constantly. 110 years ago, 88 metres from this very spot I stand now in the Great Hall, one nervous 17-year-old Bert Mellor sat, waiting for Headmaster Lawrence, who was about to announce Bert as IGS's first ever senior prefect. Bert was also announced as a senior prefect in 1910. Bert had, that day I'm sure, many of the same doubts that all of the boys do this morning who are going to be inducted in their various offices. Probably very much like James Darby, he wondered whether he could measure up, whether he could do his job well. I think the opinion of the historians and of Bert's schoolmates and staff way back 110 years ago was that Bert did indeed measure up. I'll run you through some of his achievements. Senior pass, he received the highest grade ever at Ipswich Grammar School, and up to that point of the school's history. Played first 11 cricket, first 15 rugby, became the first Queenslander to be made a Rhodes Scholar in 1912, the first ever Queenslander, studied engineering at Oxford University in England, awarded the Military Cross in the First World War in 1918, Mayor, and the first Mayor, I believe, of Gympie, and also a Member of Parliament. So from Bert, 110 years ago, we now introduce to you today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and staff, our 110th school captain, Mr. James Darby, who will be officially inducted into that position very soon. So I think Bert did a rather good job, and James, you might be sitting over there thinking, thank you, Headmaster, for listing that massive list of achievements. But I have to say to you that Bert did start as a slightly nervous 17-year-old, of that I can be very sure, and that the position of school captain at Ipswich Grammar School, whether it be in 1909 or 2019, is not actually about perfection. It's about character. And at Ipswich Grammar School, what do we mean by character? We mean humility, we mean selflessness, we mean determination, and we mean resilience. It's not actually about what you achieve in your school days or actually what you achieve after your school days. It's much more about how you achieve those things. So James, that's my way of saying to you, it's okay, don't worry, things will be fine. James also has, of course, a fantastic team to support him. So in 2019, you will very soon meet our prefect team, and they're a terrific team. And also supporting James and the other prefects will be Class 156, our Year 12s of 2019. So today we celebrate history, school captain number 110 in Year 156, but we also, this is the beginning of a year in which we will create history, because this will be the first year for Ipswich Grammar School that we will select Year 11 prefects mid-year. We're doing this because of the change to our school structure, which is really being dictated and determined to a large extent by the emergence of ATAR. So this year's Year 12s, parents, you'll probably know, this year's Year 12s will be the last boys who will receive an OP, and after that, boys in our school, as they move up to Year 12, will receive an ATAR. Now, the ATAR system will mean that our Year 12 boys will be physically less present in our school, certainly during Term 4 and also very certainly during Term 3. So we felt that we needed to support the leadership of our Year 12s by anointing a very capable group of Year 11 boys who will support them from the beginning of Semester 2 this year. So we're boldly venturing forth into something that's quite, I believe, quite unique and quite different. Another example of how a school that is actually incredibly proud of its heritage and has a very long history can still continue to adjust and adapt and innovate. I want to reassure you, parents, staff, boys, that every single boy that is being recognised today is absolutely ready to step up and do the job, whether they be a white shirt in 156, whether they be a prefect, or whether they be one of our captains or vice captains. And boys being inducted into office today, what we have done today by our attendance, whether we're a grandmother or a grandfather, an uncle, a member of the community, a politician, a board member, staff, other friends and relatives from your family. What we have done by being here today and spending this time with you, watching this happen, is we have said that this counts and this means something, and we think you mean something, and we want to encourage you, support you, and hope that you do very well. So our presence today in this ceremony is actually all about the boys recognising that they're about to enter this journey, but they are absolutely, totally not alone. If you wonder if 2019 will be a great year for Ipswich Grammar School, I would say to you that once you encounter these boys as they move across our stage today, you will absolutely know that we are going to have a fantastic year in 2019. My sincere encouragement and congratulations to James Darby, the other captains and vice-captains, our prefects, and of course, importantly also Class 156. Thank you everyone very much.
Thank you, Headmaster. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the 2019 Ipswich Grammar School Captain-elect, James Darby, who will lead the prefects in their oath.
I, James Darby, in the presence of the school authorities here assembled, and in the presence of my fellow students, solemnly declare before accepting the prefectship conferred on me, that I fully recognise that a prefect must give unswerving loyalty to the school, that he must preserve and foster its ideals by precept and by example, that he must keep and enforce its rules and regulations, and that in work and in sport, he must set an example worthy of emulation by all his fellows. I publicly acknowledge and gratefully accept the honour conferred on me. And solemnly pledge that I shall do all in my power. To fulfil my duties in a worthy manner. Thank you, prefects. Please be seated. I would now ask Mr. Morrison to assist in presenting the prefects with their ties and badges as they sign a prefectorial book. The 2019 prefects are as follows. James Braybrook. Brennan Norris. Harry Seymour. George Wilds. Boarding Vice Captain Wayne Atasoa. Boarding Captain Carmelo Keating. School Vice Captain Henry Dixon. School Vice Captain Theodore Baker.
I now ask the headmaster to get the school mace and present the mace to our captain of 2019, James Darby. Headmaster, please join them for a photo. Congratulate, please, the prefects and leaders for this year. Thank you. Thank you, prefects. Please be seated. Thanks, prefects. I would now ask School Vice Captain Henry Dixon to read the senior vow.
I, Henry Dixon, as a member of the 156th Senior Class of Ipswich Grammar School,
as a member of the 156th Senior Class of Ipswich Grammar School,
will strive to uphold the school's ideals and values as expected of me as an IGS student.
will strive to uphold the school's ideals and values as expected of me as an IGS student.
I will continue the pursuit of excellence.
I will continue the pursuit of excellence.
And will endeavour to embrace and promote the sacred spirit that is the heart and soul of Ipswich Grammar School.
And will endeavour to embrace and promote the sacred spirit that is the heart and soul of Ipswich Grammar School.
Within the school and community,
Within the school and community,
I will work with honour to create a safe and friendly environment for myself and my peers.
I will work with honour to create a safe and friendly environment for myself and my peers.
I will respect the individuality of each student and encourage involvement and participation in all aspects of the school.
I will respect the individuality of each student and encourage involvement and participation in all aspects of the school.
As a senior, I will work to the best of my ability to set an example for all my peers.
I will work to the best of my ability to set an example for all my peers.
Above all, I will honour and obey the school rules by being fair, reasonable and responsible.
Above all, I will honour and obey the school rules by being fair, reasonable and responsible.
And will aim to leave the school with no regrets.
And will aim to leave the school with no regrets.
Thank you, seniors. Please be seated.
Good morning, Headmaster, special guests, parents, teachers and students. It gives me great pleasure to be given the privilege today of presenting to you the Form Class 12A for 2019. Could I please invite the Headmaster, Mr. Morrison, and 12A Form Teacher, Miss Shea, forward to present the boys with their senior ties. I will be reading the names of all the boys in the Form Class. Could you please hold your applause until the end? Hassan Al-Hashmi. Jaden Allam. Boas Atasoa. Noima Awatir. Theo Baker. Liam Barlow. Patrick Blackman. Joey Blanket. James Braybrook. Tyler Brown. Tyrese Brown. Riordan Brownlow. Jonah Campbell. Jay Chang. Keaton Chantung. Jackson Cooper. Ethan Cross. James Darby. Samuel Davis. Connor Daylight. Henry Dixon. Connor Edwards. Lamar Enoch. Matthew Fatnauna. Nick Finson. Please join me in congratulating the 12A form class of 2019. Thank you, 12A. Please be seated.
I welcome to the stage 12B form teacher, Mrs. Dance, to assist in the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to present 12B. Michael Fleming. Matthew Gallagher. Isaac Glue. Mitchell Harsent. Julian Hay. Lachlan Hears Ackworth. Carson Ip. Alan G. Carmelo Keating. Blair Kiley. Hayden Kiley. Christian Krause. Alex Lau. Robert Lees. Josh Lincoln. Alex McKenzie. Michael Manning. Connor Maynard. Charlie McClelland. Nicholas Meek. Brennan Norris. Kyle O'Toole. Kyle Palmer. Josh Parry. Priscilla Pordial. Jai Jorgensen. Please join me in congratulating the 12B form class of 2019. Thank you, 12B. Please be seated.
Good morning. My name is Theo Baker, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce 12C and 12D form class for 2019. I'd firstly like to welcome the 12C form teacher, Mr. Dixon, onto the stage to assist in the presentation to the students. Ladies and gentlemen, 12C. Jordan Panquet. Sam Porter. Hunter Poltney. Alex Price-Powell. Cody Pine. Daniel Raleigh. Jack Ramsey. Daniel Rathbone. Lachlan Ryder. Will Robinson. Harrison Rule. Finlay Rush. Maximus Schultz. Sean Seawood. Brody Seckham. Harry Seymour. Lewin Smart. Will Smith. Nick Stevens. Dylan Stone. Nicholas Tabor. Romeo Tanaloo. Kalani Thomas. Lachlan Travis. Please join me in congratulating the 12C form class of 2019. Thank you, 12C. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to present 12D. I welcome to the stage the 12D form teacher, Mr. Elliott, to assist in the presentation. Thomas Tronk, Kenneth Tse, James Tully, Matthew Turnbull, Maclay Turner, Luke Usher, Matt Vandewyer, Ethan Van Hengelwaite, Jeremy Van Walsum, Carl Velicott, Samuel Walker, Conrad Wallace, Nick Walsh, Mitchell Ward, Stephen Ward, Jacob Waters, Jackson Weber, Nathan Weir, Callum Whaley, George Wilds, Jackson Williams, Dion Yang, Ben Yap, James Yates, and Noah Zuna. Please join me in congratulating the 12D form class of 2019. Thank you, 12D. Please be seated.
I'd now invite School Captain James Darby to propose a vote of thanks. Thanks, James.
Headmaster, special guests, staff, parents, and students. I'd like to sincerely thank everyone who has contributed to ensuring that today was a day our seniors and leadership team will never forget. A special mention must go to the headmaster, our staff, and the parents who made time in their busy schedules to be here today, to see their sons truly start their year as the white shirts of Ipswich Grammar School. The sacrifices and commitments that each and every individual sitting here before you today make are part of the foundations for what Ipswich Grammar, the true home, our day boys and boarders alike. To Class 156, the final chapter has well and truly begun. Already the flares of exceptional performance have been seen both in the classroom and on the sporting fields. Moving forward, it should be pointed out that this year, we as a cohort have before us an empty page, and it is up to us to write our own story. Thank you.
Thanks, James. I would now like to ask the musicians to prepare, and I also call Carmelo to the microphone to lead the school in the school song. This will be followed by Mr. Chelvatsis to dismiss the assembly. I remind parents and guests that you're invited to morning tea in the staff common room following the conclusion of the assembly. please stand for the school song.
We've a song to sing, may its echoes ring from the Gulf to the southern Bight. We've a school to praise, which in former days has seen many a struggle and fight. We follow the rules of the ancient schools, who have done so much for the world. May our deeds be known and our work be shown wherever the flag is unfurled. And together we'll work, and together we'll play, and welcome this chance of a holiday. Though our task may be long, we are brave, we are strong, at the Ipswich Grammar School. Where to each comes a day when our work and our play, our school days forever are done. When sadly we part with love in our heart, from the school where our laurels were won. As onward we go, in the years we grow, in life's great sorrows and joys. Whatever may befall, let us ever recall the school where we battled as boys. And together we'll work, and together we'll play, and welcome each chance of a holiday. Though our task may be long, we are brave, we are strong, at the Ipswich Grammar School.
And now I kindly ask our musicians to lead us in the recessional. Special guests. Parents. Teaching staff and boys, there will be a change in the bells this morning by approximately 10 minutes extended into morning tea, which will then obviously have an impact for the remaining of the day. An email will come from Mr. Lindsay, teaching staff. Boys, from your point of view, just keep your ears attuned, please, for the change in the bell time. Standing nice and quiet, boys, while our parents and our special guests leave. You've been absolutely magnificent today, gentlemen. It's a hot day. You've done exceptionally well.